Alright. You know what? Before I start this video, I'm covering all my bases. I'm not fully white. I did not grow up in a comfy middle-class life with a bunch of other white people surrounding me. In fact, I've had a lot of black and Hispanic neighbors. And I am not Eurocentric. I do not have an issue seeing anyone or anything as anything other than my own ethnic group. So, let's move right along, shall we? Based on the best evidence I can see, I'm going to tell you whether or not I think Goku is Asian. And some of you will probably guess by my disclaimer where I'm going. And you know what? It'd be real easy to just say, yes, he is, and move on. But I'm not going to do that. Because I don't think he is. I'm basing this on actual evidence here, people. And hear me out before you unstar me, shut me off, call me a racist. Which I know you're going to do, Mark. Thank you. Yeah. No, seriously, hear me out here. I don't think he's white either. I really don't think Goku is any ethnicity. He's ethnically neutral, and it's for a reason, and we're going to get to that. But first, I'm going to talk about some stuff here. The fact of the matter is, Goku is based off of Journey to the West. It's a Chinese legend. It is a Chinese story that he practices martial arts and wears a Chinese character on his gi, eats Chinese food, therefore he must be Asian. Wrong. First of all, Dragon Ball is not entirely based off of Journey to the West. It's actually a hybrid. Started off as an adaptation of Journey to the West that Akira Toriyama decided he could not complete the way he wanted to without ruining the story. So the man, instead of doing that, decided he was going to make part of his story an homage to a story that had influenced him his whole life. Which I have a lot of respect for the man for, because, you know, it takes a lot of guts to sit there and decide you're going to do a project and then walk away from it saying, I can't do this without hurting it. So what he did was he took one of his old one-shot manga, combined it with that, started it off, and went from there. It was a one-shot manga called Dragon Boy, and he mixed it with the Journey to the West thing. Started with a lot of Journey to the West references, including characters, the order they're introduced, all that. And he went from there. And it evolved into what we all know and love today, and that's one thing that makes it so awesome. Now, I mean, it's like a combination of a lot of different stuff. Now, moving on from there, eating Chinese food, last I knew, didn't make you Chinese, or my whole family should be, yeah. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, and last I knew, wearing a gi with a Chinese character and practicing martial arts didn't make you Asian either, especially since a lot of practitioners of martial arts around the world now are actually white and or Brazilian, Hispanic, you know. Black people are getting really into it. They've been into it a lot too. So, you know, it's to all ethnicities now. And it was already spreading amongst all ethnicities by the time Dragon Ball was written. So, nice try with a timeline catch there. Now, we're going to move on to some other stuff. Goku's appearance and his background. Goku was raised by an Asian man in a house out in the middle of nowhere that looks like no geographical place that we've ever really seen. It's in the middle of a forest. Now, what does that prove? That Goku lived in the middle of a forest, raised by an Asian adopted grandfather, who was pretty clearly his adopted grandfather. Yeah, last I checked, that didn't make you Asian either. And then you go into, well, last time I checked, not a lot of Asian people were adopting white people. Okay, aside from the fact that, as I said, Goku's not really white either, that's a somewhat racist thing to think that just because Goku would have been a white baby that old man would have just left him there to die. I mean, seriously, what kind of opinion do you guys have of Asian folks? So, you know, something to think about there. The fact that he grew up in this house in the middle of nowhere just proves that he grew up in a house in the middle of nowhere. And that comes into play later. As for his appearance, he's got black hair, he's got dark eyes, and he's got pale skin. So, I know white folks that have black hair, that have dark eyes, and that have pale skin. I know Jewish people who look like that. In fact, Goku would probably arguably look more like a Jew than Asian or white. Anti-Semitism screams in 3, 2, 1. Now, thank you. Shut up. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the guy is really neutral in that area too. And you know what? Let's go beyond that. Goku is the worldwide average height. Goku is worldwide average height for an adult male. Literally, it is Goku's height. Goku has an average physique. Contrary to popular belief, he is not ripped like people would have you believe. Goku has a worldwide average everything, really. Personality. All these traits, none of the traits that Goku have are locked into one ethnic group. And as for where he lives, have you looked at a map of the Dragon Ball universe? It doesn't really look a whole lot like ours, does it? I mean, there's some vague similarities, but in fact, if you want to go by downright technicalities, if you look real closely at where Goku's house was listed to be on the map, it's not in China. If that was a map that looked like ours, it would probably be in northern China. But this map has the Korean peninsula down here, which means that Goku would more accurately be in northeastern Russia. Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, seriously, guys. Location of a building doesn't matter. None of the cities are even the same. So, this is not our planet. It is, but it's not. It's like an alternate universe depiction of our planet. Different continental formations, different countries, different everything. I mean, seriously, guys. Now, that being said, here's the thing. One of the themes in Dragon Ball, not the main theme, mind you, one of the themes was multiculturalism. Okay, Akira Toriyama, contrary to popular belief, this was not his first manga. I know a lot of people seem to think that it was, but it's not. It's not even his first world-famous manga. He did Dr. Slump before this, and people knew him for that before they knew him for Dragon Ball. And I mean around the globe. Okay, around the globe. I mean, the man was using French and other languages outside of his own, outside of Oriental languages even, in character names, in, different things. So, to say that the guy is, limited to a Asian culture is not very wise. And the man wanted to bring that because, see, the thing is, one thing you got to understand about Japan at the time, or all the Orient, is that they were pretty divided. Culturally speaking, they were divided. You had people who didn't want to let go of the old ways and wanted to hold on to them and reject the westernization of their country. And then you had other younger people who thought the old ways were stupid and that we want to do this. And what he essentially did was he showed that you can have both. It shows up in the architecture, it shows up in the characters, it shows up in the everything. I mean, look, you got characters from all over the world. You got characters still wearing traditional garb from their own country inside of a modern city. You got the best example even is Goku and Chi-Chi's house after they get married. It's this old looking traditional house, and then it's this brand spanking new modern capsule house. I mean, the whole thing was about showing that you didn't have to reject the one to keep the other. You didn't have to reject the West to keep the East, and you didn't have to reject the East and go completely West to be modern. It shows up in that. It shows up in behavior. It shows up in a lot of different stuff. In fact, there's not even a set language. They don't even say, why are you speaking Japanese? Why are you speaking this? Why are you speaking that? They call it the common language. Plain and simple. They don't even use the same dating system. I mean, that being said, I had no problem with Asians who want to see Goku as Asian. Alright? If that gives you a sense of pride to see him as Asian, that's okay with me. But when you say that thus, based on the character is so clearly and thoroughly Asian that no white person, no matter how much they could ever nail the part, would be able to play him, and no, I'm not defending Chatwin. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not defending him. But to say that no matter how well he could nail the part, that he's got absolutely no business playing Goku is really ethically wrong. And same for white people. To say that an Asian Goku would look stupid, that's not true. It's more about who can best nail the part. Now, over in the description, I'm gonna give you some examples of who I think is what ethnicity. But going by Yamcha, especially since Yamcha was like clearly Asian, and you go by other depictions of Asians that are clearly in the manga, I gotta say Goku is not Asian. Goku is not white. Goku is Goku. Goku was created for the whole world to look up to, not for a shot of ethnic pride, not for a shot of denigration either. He was just created to be someone to look up to, and he was created to be everyone's hero. And to see him as anything less than that is frankly stupid and petty, and something that I think that we should all get beyond.